Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Mark, and I am so excited to take you through all the files that are in this fantasy adventure set. I believe there's like 11 different basic elements with multiple elements in each one. So let me walk you through all of them and give you a couple tips along the way. Once you get through a couple of them, they're going to all follow the same exact pattern. But let's just get started with the dragon. And here is the dragon. First of all, I'll just point out the same thing that's in all of these. The black lines equal cut and the red lines equal score. If you get those backwards, that's going to be bad, so make sure you pay attention to that. Here in this particular dragon, the only score part is the nose right here. And you could technically cut that, but we decided to score it because depending on how large you make this piece, it might be hard to keep track of, so it's easier just to score it. You can, of course, resize this to any size you want. Have fun with it. Use it as a door hanger. It works really well like that, just at the size that it's at now. But you can also enlarge it to whatever you want, including one sheet for this piece and one for that. In fact, let me talk about that real quick. What you have is you have the background piece, which is the silhouette of the dragon. And all of these items are going to have a silhouette at the back of them. And then you're going to simply cut the dragon and then place all the pieces on top of the back piece like this. This part here, all these pieces will cut separately, and that makes it really, really easy to paint because you can separate all the pieces, spray paint them if you like, and then drop them back in this outline that you're left with. Let me point out two pieces to you. This one right here and this one right here. These do not go back into the dragon design. Those are spaces. If you follow the curve of his head and neck right here, you'll see that this is his head and neck, and then the tail comes back up this way. Those are spaces. Those are not part of his body. So this one and this one do not go back in. But you'll have a lot of fun with this one. And again, you can make it whatever size you want. But again, black lines are cut, red lines are score. Let's move on to the next dragon one, which is crit happens. And again, black lines are cut, red lines are score. There aren't any scores other than, again, his nose. This is the silhouette, just like we talked about with the other one. You'll cut all these lines, and then the words and all these different pieces will come out. You'll be able to paint them separately and put them back in, and then glue them on top of this piece here. This one comes with the options of a 20 or a 1 if you want to have the D20 have a number on it. So what you would do is either leave it the way it is if you don't want any numbers, or you can cut these by simply putting it right where you want it, right there, and cutting it. And then you'll be able to paint the 20 and put it back in there. Make a note that the inside of the 0 there, you're going to have to, that'll be a small piece you have to put back in. Or you can do the 1, exact same thing, drag the 1 onto here and cut it like that. A couple little things to point out to you. Zoom in here a little bit. The inside of the R, this piece, let me go all the way down to it. This piece you can just throw away. You don't need that one. But this one here, which is the next layer up, this one will go back in there. And then also the inside of the A and the 2 P's will also go back in. And what I did was I painted those pieces the same as this background piece here. You can see those in some of the photos as well. Let's move on to the next dragon one. This is the same as the first. I'll jump back there. This is just the dragon by himself. This is the dragon with the D20. Exact same thing, it just has a D20 with it if you want to do that. Use it as a door hanger, use it as a piece of art, whatever you want. There's the 1 and the 20. Again, you can throw them on there just like that. Black lines equal cut, red lines equal score. And then you've got the D20s by themselves. Again, you're probably following the pattern by now. You would cut this piece and then cut a back silhouette piece and then just put it on top just like that and glue it on there. That way you can again, paint all the separate pieces and put it on the back piece. Choose which one of these you want or all of them. You can make them as large as an entire sheet, make them whatever size you want. Really easy and fun to use. Moving on to the Keg and Tap. This is a lot of fun, especially when you put text on top of it to make it like a sign for a tavern or whatnot. This piece is the top piece. You're going to cut the black, score the red, and you'll have a ring here that is cut. And you can paint that a different color if you want, and you set this one inside it. And you take these two, and this red circle right here is just there to help you align this one, to glue it right on top there. And then you have a couple options with the tap. You can use this as the hole cover. You can put it right there and then put the tap somewhere like here. Or you can put this, whoops, sorry. You can take the hole cover and, sorry, I'm going to have to now select it and move it. This is all the fun of live videos. You could put this one underneath the tap like that, or you can just leave it out, whichever you prefer. If you're going to be putting text on top of this, it's probably make it balance better if you put either leave this out or put it underneath the tap. That way you'll have room for text that's up here, but that's all up to you. Moving on to the mugs. We've got two different kinds of mugs here. They go together just like they appear to. Again, black lines are cut, red lines are score. This one here, when you cut this frame here, or these frames, you will put it right on top like that, and then all of these pieces go into those slots right there. That way you can paint those a different color, and then the head of foam goes right on the top, just like that. Again, we do it all this way so that makes it much, much easier to paint. Then this one here, as you can imagine, starting from the bottom, these just all stack right like that. I won't put them all on there. You'll be able to figure that out. And again, red lines are score, and you can paint it that way. Of course, these are one of the few exceptions, but the back piece here, you don't technically have to paint except that you're going to see this handle. So make sure you paint the handle whatever color you want because it's going to be visible. So those are the mugs. Almost at the end here, we've got this text. I made these two mostly so that if you want to use them, you're more than welcome to, but also to give you an idea of what you could do. This is the name of the font that I use, Prometheum, but you can use other fonts as well. What I would do is I would type out the text that you want. I would try to connect them as much as possible just to make it easier to handle. These two are separate. Tall Tales are connected and Tavern is not connected. But what I did was I took the text and then I did an offset path and made these so that you could paint those separately and set them just like that, the way you've seen in some of the pictures. And then what you could do, for example, you could go back to maybe the keg and you could set it right on top like this, and it would look really good as a sign. You could also do that with some of the mugs. You could do that with shields here in just a minute. We'll get to those. But the text is really fun. And again, I just used these. I included these couple for you to have something to be inspired by. You're welcome to use this if you want, or you can make your own. Moving on to the axes. These are, again, just what you think they would be. The red is score and black is cut. You're gonna score the back lines here. And I'm sorry, let me move that one off of here. I'll fix that in the file there for you. But you would cut this piece here would go right on top of the handle. And then, of course, that would go right on top of the head there, line it up that way. It's got some score lines there. And then there's a little cap piece that goes right there above the blade. And then the same thing for the double-headed one. Just make sure that you line up the nicks that are in the head to make sure you have it flipped the right way. There's the handle, and then there's the cap that goes on the top, right? And we'll go on to the next one, the shields. Again, same pattern. These will just go right on top of this. The red line on the back is just showing you how to line it up. Same thing with this one. All straightforward, easy to paint, easy to cut. And then we got one more. We got the swords. Again, red lines are score, black lines are cut. I think I probably don't have to point this out to you at this point, how they go. One thing I do want to point out for this one, though, is you've got your guard piece here. I'll get it relatively straight. Goes right there, only straight. And then you've got the wrapped handle. Let me zoom in here a little bit. See this curve right here? This one goes like this. If you have it upside down, this part will be straight and it won't fit against this one. It'll be pretty easy to tell, but you just want to make sure you get that right. And then the same thing with this one. When you put this blade on, this one has got a V-shaped shape right here that goes into this guard. If you have it upside down, it won't fit right, but you'll see it. And then, of course, the pommel or the end will go like that. These are a lot of fun. You can mix and match these in all kinds of ways. Let me know if you have any questions, but I think you're going to love them. Of course, let me say at the end again, you can resize every one of these to whatever size you want. Put a sword behind a shield, put a beer mug on top of a sword, make signs, do whatever you want to do with these. They are going to be a blast. Have a great time. Of course, I always want to see what you guys make, and let me know if you have any questions. But until then, as always, we will see you in the next one.